Every tradition that understands the human being as more than a body eventually turns to appetite, not desire as moral failure, not hunger as shame, but appetite as interface. Appetite is where the world enters us. It is where the outside becomes inside. It is where power is either integrated or allowed to rule. The ancient teachings do not treat appetite lightly. They understand that what is consumed, whether as food, story, image, or fear, does not remain external. It becomes tissue. They are building blocks. It becomes impulse. It becomes reaction. It becomes us. Within the Gospel of Thomas, a non-canonical sayings collection attributed to Didymus Judas Thomas, preserved in early Syrian and later Coptic Christian communities, Rabbi Yeshua of Nazareth, the Hebrew teacher from Galilee, offers one of his most unsettling and misunderstood images. Blessed is the lion that the human eats, so that the lion becomes human, and cursed is the human whom the lion eats, and the lion becomes human. Gospel of Thomas, saying number 7. This saying has often been treated as paradox, riddle, or provocation, but within the embodied logic of Hebrew wisdom and early Jewish Christian mysticism, it is precise. The lion is not evil. The lion is raw force, instinct, hunger, rage, fear, sexual drive, territorial reflex. The lion is the mammalian inheritance carried in flesh and nerve long before reflective thought developed. In the Hebrew imagination, the lion symbolized both danger and power, chaos and kingship. David is both shepherd and lion slayer. Judah is called the lion's cub. The image carries ambivalence by design. The question is not whether the lion exists. The question is who consumes whom. When the instinct is swallowed consciously, chewed, digested, integrated, it becomes strength. Anger becomes boundary. Desire becomes creativity. Hunger becomes discernment. The lion becomes human. But when instinct consumes awareness unconsciously, the opposite occurs. Reaction replaces choice. Craving replaces perception. Fear replaces presence. The human becomes a lion, not in nobility, but in compulsion. Flesh reacts. Thought justifies after the fact. This is not moral judgment. It is anatomy. The digestive system does not ask whether food is virtuous. It asks whether it can be processed. What cannot be digested ferments. What ferments poisons the body. The same is true psychologically and spiritually. The Hebrew tradition understood this through dietary law, not as superstition, but as a training in discernment. What enters the body matters. The early Nazarene teaching radicalizes this insight inward. Appetite is no longer just about food, it is about attention, and attention feeds constantly. This is why another saying from the same Thomasine tradition follows naturally. The human being is like a wise fisher who cast a net into the sea and drew it up full of little fish. Among them, the wise fisher found one fine large fish. That fisher threw all the little fish back into the sea and chose the large fish without hesitation. Gospel of Thomas, saying number 8. The sea in Hebrew and Near Eastern symbolism represents undifferentiated information, emotion, and potential. It is abundance without hierarchy, chaos without meaning. The sea is not evil, but it is overwhelming. The fisher is discernment. The net is perception. Most of what is gathered is small, fragmented, noisy, distracting. Some of it is poisonous. Some of it is empty. Some of it is bait designed to hook attention rather than nourish understanding. The wise fisher does not attempt to eat everything. This is the discipline of appetite. Information is food. Stories are food. Fear is food. Identity is food. Repetition is food. The nervous system digests constantly, and like the gut, it was not designed to process unlimited junk. In the contemporary world, appetite is hijacked. Urgency is manufactured. Sensation is amplified. Outrage is monetized. The body is flooded with signals demanding reaction. Each headline claims to be essential. Each voice claims to be final. Each image claims to be the truth. But the digestive system, literal and symbolic, cannot process everything without injury. The Nazarene rabbi's teaching here is surgical. Keep the nourishing truth, release the rest. Not every idea deserves digestion. Not every emotion deserves identification. Not every story deserves belief. This is not withdrawal, it is sovereignty. The earlier Hebrew wisdom literature warned that unchecked appetite enslaves. Proverbs speaks repeatedly of moderation, not as restraint, but as intelligence. To eat without discernment is to surrender agency. The same logic appears in the Jewish Christian Gospel of Matthew, canonized by Catholic and Protestant traditions, where the Rabbi Yeshua of Nazareth teaches, "It is not what goes into the mouth that defiles a human, but what comes out of the mouth. This defiles a human." Gospel of Matthew 15:11, Jewish Christian tradition. This emphasis is not misunderstood. The saying does not declare that intake is irrelevant. It declares that digestion determines character. What is consumed but not integrated emerges as distortion. What is eaten unconsciously speaks through reaction. What is eaten consciously becomes wisdom. This is why appetite sits at the core of this spiral. Without mastery of intake, there can be no stability of mind, no coherence of heart, no unity of body and spirit. The fortified city collapses if its gates are left unguarded. The kingdom fragments if anything may enter. The digestive system teaches this quietly every day. It breaks food down slowly. It extracts what is useful. It releases waste without attachment. It does not argue with what cannot nourish. It lets go. This is the pattern of perception. To eat the lion is to face instinct without repression and without surrender. To choose the large fish is to value nourishment over novelty. To release the small fish is not rejection, it is wisdom. What consumes awareness shapes identity. What is allowed to feed unchecked eventually rules. The ancient saying does not threaten, it warns. If instinct is integrated, it becomes power. If instinct rules, it becomes captivity. If information is digested, it becomes clarity. If information is overwhelmed, it becomes noise. This episode marks a turning point in the spiral. The seeker no longer gathers indiscriminately. The body is no longer treated as enemy. Appetite is reclaimed as sacred interface. The lion is acknowledged. The net is lifted. The choice is made. We are not shaped by what exists in the world. We are shaped by what we allow to eat us. And from this point forward, discernment becomes nourishment. The spiral continues, but now with restraint, strength, and clarity.